Sales is a game, and to win, you need a solid strategy. Acquire your tools and learn to win at the fine art of sales. With over 40 years of sales expertise selling luxury items to the top of society, Scott Grosclose shares with you exactly how to get to checkmate and win. Here is Scott Grosclose.
Welcome to Up Yours. My name is Scott Grosclose, and today we have Robey Taute with us. And Robey, as we knew from the first episode, is a wellness guru, and he told us a lot about what he does. Number one, we're going to be speaking about general wellness. That's today. A future podcast will be about child obesity. We could talk about rejuvenation. We'll, of course, speak about the beauty industry, about sports industry. So we'll have a good round knowledge by the time people listen to this podcast or want to go to a specific issue that they have, then we'll be able to address that in one easy podcast. So today, Robey, we're going to start with general wellness. And people have their own perceptions of what general wellness is. So I want you to explain kind of in depth, if you would, how wellness is achieved and how you sustain it. I always wondered, why does a baby have like smooth skin and seems to be very active, and as you age, things start to stop working the way they used to? And is that because of genes we got from our parents, or is that through just general conditions? Tell me your thoughts on why that occurs.
Well, we all born with certain genes because, some people are tall, some people are short, some people are blonde, some people are redhead, whatever, different nationalities. So we do have our genes. If we have two parents that's extremely tall and we are a child of them, there's a possibility we will be that tall. So that's a gene that you're born with. And some people has longevity in their genes where they live and look better than other people at the same age and feel better, and not just look, but is better healthy-wise, So that could be part of a gene, but a lot of it is very controlled by us ourselves. It is totally controlled. It's our lifestyle. Our lifestyle is actually responsible for who and what we are. Like some people work very hard and they achieve a lot of money and success because of themselves. They wake up in the morning, go out there, and they're brilliant, and they just go for it and work and become very wealthy and everything. Some people are the opposite. So their lifestyle is very slow, or they don't care. So it is your lifestyle. So a baby is born, it's brand new cells, it's a brand new little baby. And of course, once that little thing starts walking, it runs around the house. So it creates incredible blood circulation. And the blood circulation transports the nutrients that we eat from your stomach. You've just eaten it from your stomach. It takes the nutrients and transports it through to your cells. So your cells keeps on getting nutrients. It's like when you're in the garden, you keep on giving water to the flowers and the garden looks gorgeous. So when we're getting older and we start working on computers, we are in meetings, we're in traveling, we're watching TV. Our life becomes very stagnant and slower. So the blood circulation is transporting very slowly through the body. And that automatically takes less oxygen and nutrients through to your cells. So the muscle groups are starting to deteriorate and the cell starts deteriorating. That's when the aging process comes in. But the aging process is another topic that we will speak about on another podcast. But at this moment, it's overall wellness. But when the cells and the organs in the body, your heart, your kidneys, your liver, your pancreas, or whatever, doesn't get fast enough nutrients or oxygen or through the blood circulation because of our lifestyle, that's when the sicknesses comes into our body. The kidneys doesn't get enough nutrients. Our liver doesn't get enough food, enough oxygen because of my lifestyle. My pancreas doesn't get enough. My heart, my brain. So the wellness are falling into pieces. I wake up in the morning with a pain there. a cough there, a pain there, a kidney failure here. Just overall wellness goes down the drain. Heart attack here, cholesterol there, blood pressure up there, nerves. Your nerve condition works also on nutrition because your nervous system needs proper nutrition and blood circulation and water and everything. And it doesn't get it enough because of your lifestyle. So the wellness of most people just goes down the drain. You feel people getting overweight, people feel obese, people get brain fogs, people get tired, people get nauseous, people get depressed. Depression is a huge thing that destroys our life because that is the biggest thing of wellness, is to be psychologically brain-wise happy. You have to be very happy in your brain. You have to be happy in the morning when you wake up to be well.
So let me ask a question about that. Doctors, if you go to a clinical psychiatrist and then they give you a prescription and you get it filled and you take it every day for 30 or 40 days, is there something we can do besides dependent on that? And I'm sure there's circumstances where that becomes the proper diagnosis. But in general, is there a way to improve depression through, I don't know, better nutrition?
Oh, absolutely. Nutrition is one of the biggest ways to improve depression. The depression comes from a state of mind. Your well-being goes down because the brain is a lack of oxygen, a lack of good nutrition. So the brain becomes very depressed. A lot of times depression, you would say, is through circumstances because somebody died, you lost your job, something bad happened, which happens every day in the world.
And some of that's going to be natural.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly acceptable.
You must just remember one thing. You and me cannot change this world. The world is the way it is, and it will be this way, and it will be the way forever. You have to work on changing and bettering yourself to handle the very stressful world we're living in. So how do we handle it? Well, blood circulation through physical workouts. Not a go to the gym kind of thing, just a normal physical workout. Go for a walk around the block every day with your dog. Be active. Will create your nutrients to transport to your brain all the time. And then, of course, you have to have good nutrients. So, and that we will talk on a later stage on another podcast about, my philosophy on good nutrition. But nutrients is very important. So once the brain gets enough oxygen and vitamins, vitamin D, sun needs to come out. A lot of depression comes also through a lack of vitamin D, through a lack of sunshine. People get depressed in very much areas where it's cold and not much sunshine. But a lack of nutrition and water and oxygen and vitamins brings in a state of depression. That's why you will see a lot of young kids in a lot of countries is getting very depressed. And a child shouldn't be depressed. Life is out there when you're an adult and you have to work and earn money and pay your rents and everything. That's a tough one. A child shouldn't have the state of depression. A child should be a child and have the freedom of being a kid and enjoy life and all that stuff. But with today's life, we find children, young kids, teenagers that's committing suicide and shoot people because they're in a state of depressed. So you have to ask the question, why? Why? Because of a lack of good nutrition and a lack of good understanding of how to look after your brain.
Let me ask a question about that. You see kids that are, let's talk about some of the mass shooters of recent, young kids. For the most part, they don't look unhealthy. They don't look obesely overweight. They look most of the time nice looking kids. So is it possible to have bad nutrition and still look good?
Yes, very much so. When you're young, people, kids, teenagers can get away with any kind of food and they will still look beautiful. And then they might have a little fast gene in the body, and they might, and the body will actually not store the bad nutrition. But that's actually a worse point, is if your nutrition is not good and you have a fast metabolism and that keeps you thin, the body might dump all your nutritional value out of your system. So that's even worse, because in the brain is a lack of nutrition, because the body is fast, the metabolism is fast. So it dumps the nutritional value out of the body so fast that the brain is in lack of nutrition. And that's when the state of depression comes into it. So nutrition and blood circulation and oxygen and vitamins, D, sunshine, is very important for depression. You don't normally will find much, maybe somewhere, but not much, that you'll find people that become shooters and kill people, or suicidal people that are sports people, athletes. Athletes is not normally depressed. Most is not. Because they out in the sun, they work out, they eat mostly good because they're athletes and they realize nutrition is important. So you will find a lot of very underweight children that can eat any kind of junk food because the metabolism is fast. The body dumps it out, so they're not fat. They still look pretty because they have nice features, but their brain is unhealthy, and it puts them in a state of depression. So you can definitely take a child or an adult, grown up, and get them out of that state of depression by creating 3 topics like water, oxygen, blood circulation, good nutrition, vitamins. And then, of course, love and care. That's always very important. So overall wellness, if you go to any doctor's rooms today, you'll see lines and lines of people sitting in doctor's rooms, always. You can't just walk in and see a doctor. You have an appointment, 11, 12 o'clock, you sit there for another hour because it's so busy. Why? Because the body is packing up from the inside. Kidney pain, liver pain, cancer, strokes, heart attacks, all kind of stuff. Cholesterols, blood pressures. Where does it come from? Just think. Do you have an answer?
Oh, I think you're going to say circulation.
Well, lifestyle.
Lifestyle, okay.
Is the answer. You can really change the universe with lifestyle. Because your lifestyle, being active, drink enough water, eat enough good nutrition, get enough vitamins and get the right nutrition into your body. And that will change you into, a lot of people say, oh, I want to look better. I said, that's a bonus. We're not necessarily just go out to make you look better. You look gorgeous the way you are. We are there to make you well and give you wellness, to help you to create wellness. You don't have to spend your days in hospitals and overcrowded doctors' rooms, waiting for hours to see doctors. Because you have this morning, this back pain. Tomorrow morning, this pain. The next day, this is backing up. Why? Lifestyle. So wellness comes basically from yourself. It is in your life. You can change it right now, today. You do not need to accept it. And this story, oh, I'm old. That's a bunch of bull. Because what does old mean? It's just a number. Old, that shouldn't exist. I mean, I've met somebody that's really very old and looking incredible. And I've seen people that's young that looks horrible. But I'm not talking about looks in a way of looking, say, oh, they're ugly or pretty. I'm talking about a wellness look. They look awful. They're bloated. They're depressed. They're out of shape. They can't breathe properly. They can't walk. They can't lift up things. They can't live. They sit in doctor's rooms and sit in front of the TV and do that. It's wellness. We're craving wellness. We can give wellness without living on drugs and prescriptions.
Okay. Well, I think that probably a majority of the people listening today of this podcast are aware of their concepts, at least, of how to get healthy. And we'll go to January 1st. Everybody makes a New Year's resolution. And what's at the top of that list? Every year, I want to lose weight. And when they think about, attacking that, which they do for about 6 or 7 days, and then that wanes off until next January 1. But they think about ways they know how they can fix it. So they go out and get a gym membership, $30 a month. And they go 4 or 5 times, that week, and the next week twice, and then the next week once, and then the rest of the year, the membership, kicks out of their checking account, and they never see the place again. So I want you to give us an idea of a different approach on January 1st that will last longer. If it starts with a diet or exercise, they're going to already know that. But your process of what you do for your patients is to, in essence, teach them a different way to eat and something that they don't have to follow a diet, or you don't give them a particular exercise routine. You give them the tools they need through proper education of how to nourish their bodies, what to eat and when and where. So can you explain a little bit about what you would tell somebody that on January 1st makes this resolution, and what can you do to help them along the way?
Absolutely. They say all diets work because it's designed as a diet and it will give you a few pounds weight loss. But the problems with diets is when you get off that diet, you just put the weight on again.
Or more.
That's right, or more. So it's nothing to do about diets. It's about understanding and the desire that you want to improve your wellness. You're sick and tired of the back pains. You're sick and tired of being overweight. You're sick and tired of sitting in doctor's rooms all the time. It's sick and tired of coughing or whatever, blood pressure, cholesterol, whatever is coming in. You're sick and tired of it. You can change it. To go on a strict diet and join a gym? No. Join a gym is fine for people that like gym. It's like you forcing me to go and play tennis. And I can't even see the ball because I'm not a good person for a ball. But you say I have to play tennis. No. You play tennis because you like to play tennis. You play golf because you like to play golf. You're an athlete because you're a born athlete. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Wellness doesn't come that way. That's a sport. To go to the gym is a sport. It's good. It keeps you fit. It gives you muscles. You're into it. You like it. You do it and you go for it. But to take you and say, okay, Peter, you need to lose at least 30 pounds. Peter, you need to get out of that chair and look better. I'm not going to tell you, Peter, go and join the gym. Or Peter, go on that next diet, which is the latest fad diet. It's very wrongful advice because you are going to waste your money to join and never go. You're going to be disappointed in yourself because you did go and then you stop going. Then you're going to go in a state of depression because you disappointed yourself. And then you're going to eat more and get more out of shape. And also with this diet is so good, but it's so tough. I can't do it. So I tried it for 1 week. I lost 3 pounds and I stopped it. I hated it and I put it all on again. So it's absolutely nonsense. It's so ridiculous. But I do understand that people do that because they have no other way.
It's all they know.
It's all they know. It's all that's out there. Well, there is much more out there. It is a way of waking up to say, today's my new life. I want to change my attitude towards life. I know if I drink more water, it's going to be good for me. Not for today or tomorrow, forever. I know when I learn more about a little bit of nutrition, that I can do a better eating lifestyle. Not for today or tomorrow for losing 5 pounds. Forget about the pounds. To live and be and feel happier and to be well forever. And then I don't want to join a gym, but I need to work out. So why don't I just walk around the block, take my dog for a walk, go every morning for a walk, or do something, or just go in the pool, do little push-ups for myself because I need blood circulation. It doesn't say I have to do it 7 days a week. It doesn't say I have to join a gym. It doesn't say I have to do this. It just, I need to create blood circulation through my lifestyle. I need to eat better through my lifestyle. I drink more water and vitamins through my lifestyle. And I'll have this great attitude. And slowly but surely, I will see my life is changing. My brain is changing. And it'll be permanent.
You know, we came up with this kind of a catchphrase of the 15-second rule. When people make that resolution on January 1st, they're pretty earnest. You know, they really want to do this. They look in the mirror, they see themselves, they feel trying to put the clothes on that fit 6 months ago and they don't fit. So they're motivated. But I think the problem that most people have is that the solution is dramatic. Like they want to start on January 2nd and they get up early and they go to the gym, which they're not used to doing, or they go on a diet and they start eating, I don't know, 3 eggs for breakfast and nothing else. The thing that I like most about the advice you gave us in the first podcast was making a lifetime change, not having to think about so much of the calorie count and things of that nature, but just not eating the 2 food groups together. And that alone is an easy thing to, of course, listen to and absorb. So you're going to explain it really quickly here. But also it's an easy thing every moment of their day. They only have to think of that one simple rule. They don't have to start thinking about bringing the diet out and seeing what options they have for lunch and things. That one rule is simple. And if they can just apply that, and if they skip a day, they don't have to feel like the whole thing is off. They get frustrated or just give up. But learning this one rule that you're going to talk about right now is something that they then can carry every day for the rest of their life. And it's so simple that they won't forget it and they will be able to apply it with ease. So why don't you explain what that one thing is that they could change? And if they want to go to the gym and if they want to do other diets and things, that's fine in their life. But with this one rule, you're giving them already a clear path to getting out of the situation they're in.
Absolutely. You know, being in the industry of helping people to lose weight for nearly 39 years worldwide, we've learned in the beginning diets and stuff, and people go on, and people lose, and people stop, and they put it on, da-da-da. And I studied and realized this is not a way to help people. Put them on a strict diet and crash them down 20 pounds. And then they can't afford to come to me anymore. My clinic has its own price, and then they go off. I see them 2 or 3 months later around the corner and they run away. They don't want to see me because they put on all the weight. And I found there's more. There's something better. And then I started studying and learn more about the human body. What makes us fat? And how can we be healthy without being on a diet? Because diet is an ugly word. So the understanding is I've experienced with my patients over the years and trial proved it on children and old and young and beautiful in age and whatever, and nationalities all over the world where my clinics is, that it's all so simple. That's why I created this simplicity of wellness, because it's so simple. The simplicity is the body cannot digest a combination of carbohydrates and saturated fats together in one meal unless you have an overactive metabolism. And you like those kids that I talked about that is skinny, but actually also unhealthy because the body just dumps it out. So even this will work on a patient that is underweight, sick, weak, and also, of course, overweight patients is do not combine saturated fats and carbohydrates within one meal. You can eat everything, really, everything. But the body takes 3 hours to digest. So you need 3 hours. If you eat saturated fats, you need to wait 3 hours for the body to digest before you can enter carbohydrates.
Okay. Just stop for a minute, because some of the people listening will understand saturated fats. Give me some foods that are in that group. What foods would you consider in that group that we can eat?
Okay, saturated fats is very easy to know. Saturated fats comes from any living animal on this world. Fish, chicken, tunas, meats, eggs, milk, yogurts, creams, butters. Just think, if it comes from an animal, that's called saturated fat. Well, today they have a method of taking the saturated fats out of animal, like skim milk, fat-free milk. It's a milk from an animal, but there's no fat in it. Okay, the moment you see that product becomes neutral. Neutral means neutral. You can have it as much as you want, when you want, with what you want, all the time. Neutral is perfect. So when they take the saturated fat out of the animal, it becomes neutral. So you can combine it with carbohydrates. To give you an example, I feel this morning like eating oatmeal, which is really good, real old-fashioned oats, but it's a high carbohydrate. If I throw milk in there, I combine it with saturated fat. So that meal will not be digested by my body if I have a slow metabolism. If I'm 19 years old and underweight and a fast metabolism, yes, that's another problem. Then we'll just dump it out of your body, so your body won't get enough nutrition. But if you eat that oatmeal with a zero fat milk, skim milk, or almond milk, which is no animal fat in it, then it works well. So you cannot combine saturated fat with a carbohydrate. What is carbohydrates? Most people know carbohydrates is breads, pastas, fruit. Most people do not know fruit is a carbohydrate. So I shouldn't eat fruit. No, you should. It's very healthy for you. But you cannot eat fruit with a piece of cheese. You cannot eat fruit or a glass of fruit juice with your eggs. If you want to get the best, cleanest, most healthiest, purified, healthiest, beautiful body, that's the combination. That's the tricky one.
So I'm going to ask you kind of a stupid question, if there is such a thing. You take oatmeal and you have regular milk. How much of it would you have to put into the oatmeal for it to mess up that balance? Or is there a small trace amount that triggers enzymes in your stomach?
Yes, the saturated fat is a high content of fat in the milk. The carbohydrate changes into sugar in the body. So when you combine the saturated fat of the animal combined with the carbohydrate of the sugar of the oatmeal, then it becomes stale and it binds into the body. So the body doesn't digest it. It becomes like cement in your body. It doesn't get digested. So what happens to the overweight patient is that meal gets straight deposited in your fat cell. What happens to that very thin, overactive metabolism patient is worse. That meal gets immediately dumped out of the body because the body doesn't want it. So that underweight patient, client, young guy, is actually getting skinnier because his body is dumping it out because the body doesn't want that combination. So he's actually going on malnutrition. So it's bad for the thin and it's bad for the fat.
Yeah, I see these young kids, 16 years old, and they're super thin, and they're trying to gain weight. They're drinking the malt in the afternoon, and they're doing all the things they can try, but their body just seems to not gain weight
because of their metabolism. and that's what I just said, is I had a patient many years ago that was a guy, and he was a ballet dancer, and he came up to me and said to me, I know you help people with wellness, da-da-da, and overweight and everything. I've got the opposite problem. I'm extremely thin, and I'm a ballet dancer, and I feel very embarrassed on stage with my skinny legs, in that leotard because it's tight. Is that I feel so embarrassed, and I've done everything. I've drunk every powder. I've done everything in my life, and I just cannot achieve it. So I sat down with him and I explained to him that my theory is because of I've learned through my system and through the world and through my everyday practice on thousands, literally millions of people over the years all over the world, what works and what doesn't work. And understand the philosophy is when you have a fast metabolism like you do have, your body, whatever you eat, just dump it out. And you will stay skinnier and skinnier. And with your exercise, you'll get even thinner. So if we can split up the combination with you, we will help you to actually have good nutrition in your body. Your body will create a muscular, nice, firmer, stronger, bigger leg through the exercise because it gets good nutrition. So I immediately placed him on the system where I said, don't combine. Now people will say, well, I can't live that way. Well, yes, I agree. You can't always live according to a rule and regulation. And remember, this is not a diet. It's an understanding about your body, not mine, yours and mine. The understanding is this is how the body works. I go out to my garden, I've got gorgeous flowers because it works with sun and care and water. This is how it works. Do you think if I throw milk or coffee or Coca-Cola over my flowers, they're going to be beautiful? Do you think so?
No.
Okay. Why not?
Well, I think they need real water and all the chemicals and the sugars and everything that's in those drinks. The cow's milk has hormones and antibiotics. And
so there's a sort of a rule and a regulation.
Yes.
So the same with you and the body. There's a rule and a regulation. And I know I have discovered over my 39 years of experience all over the world and my thousands of patients that we've got the secret to perfect wellness. And to keep you out of those doctor's rooms, keep you out of those drugs, to keep you out of obesity, keep you out of depression, keeps you out of that whole thing is to feed the body like we just said. We're giving the sun and the water to the flower and not milk and coffee and Coca-Cola. And you explained to me why we shouldn't give it to the flower. So I can explain to you why we shouldn't do that combination to your body. Because we've proven over the years that it works. And so I brought in the system of 80-20. 80% of your life from now onwards, you follow that system. The understanding, it's not a diet. The understanding of your body. We're talking about you now, not me. And then 20% of your life, you're going to give yourself some freedom where you will go out and do what you want to do. But do realize that you have to go back to your 80% lifestyle because that's a permanent lifestyle. And the more you live the 80%, the more you feel better and you look better and your brain is great and you stay out of doctor's rooms and less pain and less aches and less old aging coming. The more you will realize, I don't really want 20% anymore. I might get it to 15%. So that's up to you. But of course, you always have to leave that a little open space. If you're at a wedding or a party or a celebration and you want to drink champagne and you want to eat the cake and you want to do your potatoes and your meats and your corns and everything together, that you can do it. But you have to go back to your 80%. See, the 80-20 is beautiful because 80% is 3/4 of your life. 20% is a quarter. So obviously, you're going to have a quarter bad body and a quarter bad health and 80% good health and 80%. Where most of the world is the other way around. It's 80% bad and 20% good when they try diets. And then they fall off the 20% and go back to the 80%. So it's the secret, the simplicity.
So if I go into a restaurant, to just any kind of restaurant, Applebee's, Olive Garden, whatever, and I open the menu, and I'm trying to follow this rule, give us a little guideline. How would we order there, or maybe order what comes with it and take some home, for later? What would you suggest?
When you get down to your goal where you feel fantastic, you will allow your 20% and really live the 20%, but you cannot abuse the 20%. If you start making your 20% 30%, 40%, you're falling on the right track of the mind. You have to stay in that 20%. So you will give yourself that 20% freedom when you go into a restaurant, you just eat what you want. But, okay, you're now in the 80% and you go into a restaurant. So you will sit down, you will briefly look through the menu, and you'll be very deciding what you're going to do. Let me ask you a question. Are you picky about what kind of car you drive?
Oh, yes.
What about your house?
Even more.
And what about your clothes?
I could improve.
Yes. So most people are picky who they live with, what they do, where they work, what they drive, what they wear. But they don't care about their food. It's put on a bunch of trash through their mouths. And your body is what you have on this planet, your body and your soul. But you have to look after your body, number one, and you have to be picky on your nutrition. Like you are picky on your cars and your food and your girlfriends and everything.
So you're going through the menu.
And you go through the menu and you will decide I'm in my 20% or my 80%. Okay.
Just say we're in our 80%, because I'm really good about being in that 20%. I've been doing it for years. Right?
We all do it.
Right.
Yes. Okay. So we're in the 80%. So you will decide and you will see, today I feel like lobster and seafood. Okay, great. That's what I feel like. So I'm going to order lobster and seafood, and I will look at the menu and I'll see it comes with a lot of things that I shouldn't eat with it, like potatoes, corn on the cob, rice, pastas. And you will see when you do that combination, that's definitely not going to work for you. So you will ask the server, please, I would love to have this wonderful seafood platter, but please don't put on any potatoes or corn or pasta or rice into that plate for me. I just want it with green vegetables, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, zucchini, olives, avocado.
Carrots
is fine.
Okay, good.
Peas is fine. Every vegetable is actually fine. There's some vegetables a little bit more sugary than others. Like some people say, don't eat carrots and don't eat peas. I said, man, that's not a problem. Your body will digest it. But I will definitely not put in a potato if I'm in the 80% of my nutritional plan with my steaks or my fish. I can eat sweet potato. It is so funny because a potato is a high carbohydrate, sweet potato is a better carbohydrate. So it becomes more neutral. So sweet potato is actually very healthy. It's a superfood. There's some foods that's called superfoods. Avocado.
So I have a question then. You're going to eat seafood. It's going to get in your body. It's going to burn exclusively on that side of the equation. Does it matter whether it's deep fried, maybe pan-seared, baked, or grilled?
Well, of course, if you eat seafood, you can definitely not have it with. You can have it grilled. You can have it baked too if they bake it in
Butter.
Butter. It works with it, or they bake it into fish oil and things like that. But you cannot have it, like. What do you call it?
Deep fried.
Deep fried means you're putting butter and bread over it, breadcrumbs. That's a high carbohydrate, like KFC kind of, for instance, just as example. Your KFC, you do get KFC lately, which hasn't got the crumbs and the bread. And
They have the grilled ones.
the grilled, yeah. So that's the combination there that you should do. So you can actually have it any way prepared, except you should not have any breadies, crumbs, and stuff like that on it. A lot of people ask me the question about hot wings. I eat hot wings all the time. I love it because it's so good for you. It's chicken, pure chicken, a little hot spice in there. Don't have it breaded. Yes. Don't have it breaded.
Now, let's go back to the menu. So we decide we want seafood. We're going to get it grilled or baked, and we're going to get vegetables with it, including carrots. I somehow thought carrots were high in sugar or something. Let's go before that to a salad. Can you have a salad with Italian dressing?
Absolutely. The dressings do have a little bit of sugar in it, but it's so minor that I definitely advise my clients, my friends, my patients to have, when they go in a restaurant, start with a nice salad or maybe a shrimp cocktail, some salads instead of bread. That is your biggest problem, is when you sit down in a restaurant and say, bring out those wonderful, beautiful garlic breads. Well, that is a problem. Because it is a very high carbohydrate. Unless you go in with a different motive, you want to stay in your 80%, but today you're going to have a carbohydrate dish. So you can have a slice of bread, but you cannot have butter on it, because butter is a saturated fat.
Got it.
So you can have a slice of bread, maybe in olive oil, because that's neutral. And then you can order pasta or spaghetti. That's what you feel like. But there's a trick. You cannot order it with saturated fat. That means you cannot order spaghetti, pasta, or whatever. You cannot order it with fish or chicken or creams or cheeses.
Meatballs.
Or meatballs. Oh. That you can only throw in your 20% if you do that day. But you cannot do that. You can order a big plate of spaghetti, cooked in with olive oils and not butter. Okay? And you can mix it with a tomato sauce. And you can have a slice of bread with it. You can even have maybe a potato with it, or you can have your normal vegetables with it.
Let me ask you. Let's say that I'm on a carbohydrate day. So I've ordered the spaghetti with just the marinara. I've had the salad before. Is that the day I want to cheat and have a dessert, since it's also, once we're on that side of the equation, can I get a piece of cake with the cream ice?
No, what you mean by cheat means you're 20%.
Okay.
If you're not on your 20%, you're on your 80%. You're determined to be good. You cannot have that piece of cake, but you can have a bowl of fruit, because fruit is a carbohydrate like your pasta, like your spaghetti, like your bread, like your potato, like your corn. Fruit is the same category. It's a carbohydrate.
But isn't a piece of cake or a piece of pie a carbohydrate?
It is, but it's mixed with saturated fat, because you can't bake cake without eggs or milk, can you?
Okay, I get it.
So you have to learn and understand it's not a diet. Just always throw it. It's understanding.
So most restaurants will allow you to take one of the sides or something and make it fruit. So let's say you save the fruit for last. On days when you're on the protein side and you're having a steak, do you still get that salad?
No.
Can you still have the fruit as a dessert?
No.
Can't do any of that. So tell me what you would order. Now you're in a steak restaurant, you order a nice ribeye. Go.
Okay. And you really need a dessert, and you want to be on your 80%. This is my best advice, and a lot of the top restaurants do have it. You ask them for a sugar-free, which is a carbohydrate-free, ice cream, which a lot of restaurants do have, or sugar-free cheesecake, where you eat the cheesecake's made out of, there's a little flour in, but you try and avoid that. You just eat the cheesecake off, which is made out of milk and, cheese and all that stuff, which is proteins, which is the same as your proteins you just ate. So that's my best advice. Sugar-free ice cream And I order when I eat my proteins, and I'm not on my 20%, I always order sugar-free a cheesecake. Oh, I love it.
Mm.
And you do get them. You do get them. I don't eat the crust because that's a carbohydrate. I don't care about that anyhow. And because I know what I'm doing. It's a lifestyle you get into it.
Yeah, so I'm starting to get a clearer picture of the lifestyle change. That when you sit down, you're making these decisions. It used to be for me, I would kind of count calories. I would try to assume how many calories were in the salad dressing, how many calories are in the steak. Maybe if I had ordered a potato, how many calories, and if I ordered a drink or had a dessert, it was all about cutting and counting calories. But what I'm learning from you is that keeping these two food groups separated is really just a very basic and simple trick. And if you really follow that, then you don't have to worry so much. Eating a piece of cheesecake without that crust is an easy thing for me to do. But knowing which day, if I'm on a protein or which meal, doesn't have to be a day, but at which hour of the day that I'm on a carbohydrate side of the equation or the protein. So that's that's encouraging because I've never heard a diet ever define how you could do that in one meal and get away with it.
Absolutely. Because remember, again, it's not a diet. It's the understanding of the human body. If you think, and I think I've mentioned it before in the podcast, is when these fast food restaurants open in other countries and people start getting fat, they blame the restaurants of it because it's fast food. Well, yes and no, but it's a big mistake to blame them. It's what you can, but it's what you actually eat. If you understand it, you can eat things in fast food like your meats and your cheeses and stuff and leave the bread away on burgers, and you can actually eat anything. Or I can walk into fast food and I say, today I feel like carbohydrates. And I'll just order French fries.
Wow.
Yes, and I'll just eat it, nothing else. French fries, a little ketchup, and that's it, and I'm happy. So it's a carbohydrate, the potato, and there's a little fry in there, but the potato is the main thing. So because I'm not eating meat or a burger with it, I mean, the meat part of it, the cheese part of it, and the egg part of it, I get away with it. It's understanding how the body works. It's like you're giving that flour out the real water, not the milk or the coffee. And it just looks beautiful. And you will feel your body is like that when you give it the nutrition. It's strange there was not invented, like from the old days when they brought in the Bible for our religion and God, that there was never invented a book to teach your body how to live. And not going to the gym and go on a strict diet. Of course, you go to the gym, that's wonderful if you enjoy it. But don't have to go there to try and lose weight.
Okay, we have this is being taped in late October. The next big holiday is Thanksgiving, and then 30 days later is Christmas. So you're at a beautiful family gathering. There's the turkey and the dressing and the gravy and the potatoes and the candied yams, all the things we love and look forward to. Now, you're going to say, well, make that a 20% day. Well, let's pretend, though, that we have decided not to take the 20% day.
Okay.
So help me take the plate and walk around that table and put something together. And if you would, can you give me both options? Can you give me a protein version of that plate and a carbohydrate version?
Yeah, the protein version would be your turkey. You eat the turkey and you have your sweet potatoes and you have your green beans and you have your broccoli, your cabbage, your cauliflower, all your wonderful vegetables with it. You have a little bit of your gravy.
Cranberry sauce?
Cranberry sauce.
Has sugar in it?
No, I wouldn't do cranberry, not because of the sugar. Cranberry is a fruit.
Okay.
And the fruits are very high carbohydrate. So if it's your 80% of your day and you strictly because you want to lose that weight and get it down, you don't want to do your 20%, then you just will avoid a few little things.
Let me quickly ask you about the sweet potato. My mom made the best sweet potatoes, but she put cinnamon and nutmeg and sugar, and then put marshmallows on top and browned it down.
Well,
and melted
that's a little fancy.
Can you go underneath the
Yes,
marshmallows?
you could.
And does the sugar
Yes.
that she sweetened them up with, does that take us out of the out of our program?
Well, yeah, I will take a little bite of that and go underneath all that ingredients because it goes into the product as well with the cooking. But I don't think it saturates the entire product. I think it's more on the top of it where you have the cream and all that stuff. Yes, and of course, if you feel, go that's your way to do it because that is a very delicious meal that you're just talking about.
Okay, so we made it through dinner. We're going to watch the football game. And 3 hours later, there's a homemade pumpkin pie, a homemade pecan pie, and all kinds of goodies there. Can I wait 3 hours and then have some of that?
Absolutely. And I wouldn't eat like a whole pie. I will eat like a slice and treat yourself with it. But you did wait your 3 hours to wait for that pie. Remember, the pie is not completely pure. The pie has also got the carbohydrate and also the sugars and also the saturated fats in it. So it's a bit of a combination. So there I will go and wait your 3 hours and eat a small piece. So you will have a bit of a combination there. But you eat a smaller quantity of it.
Okay, let's go a little deeper. So I've eaten my protein-filled plate. I'm waiting 3 hours. I'm watching a football game. I'm going to have a little piece, but a pie, or maybe a small piece of each of the pies. Okay, we won't go there. But I have a beer while I'm watching the football game.
Well, the beer is a problem because, we never talk bad about alcohol, and we think alcohol in the right place is a very good relaxing and thins your blood. But if you're on the 80%, not on your 20% of your day, then beer will definitely not be allowed.
So other than water,
yes.
What can I drink while I'm watching that football game with
Well,
the
if you
family?
really want to drink alcoholic beverage, I would say you should drink something like vodka or whiskey or gin.
Now you're cooking.
Yes. With and I will definitely say your most important thing is your mix. You shouldn't mix it with the wrong product.
Uh-oh.
So if you mix it with a diet product, it's okay. We don't love diet products because of the aspartame. But for that moment, to get away with it, then you should just do it. Or drink it with on the ice.
How about, you have vodka and you want to put it in orange juice or grapefruit juice or cranberry juice. That's a no-no?
Well, vodka with the cranberry juice, it is a fruit. So it is like you're eating fruit.
Okay.
But if it's 3 hours later from your saturated fat.
No, let's go back to let's go back to the football game. We're in between, the protein and the carbohydrates. And I'm saying the things we can drink. You said we can drink, let's say, clear vodka without the mixers.
Yeah.
You drink water. What else can we drink?
Club soda. And then, of course, you can drink club soda, a lot of ice in your drinks. And, of course, you can drink the sugar-free diet drinks.
Like a Crystal Light lemonade.
Crystal Light lemonade.
Okay. So I get club soda out, which has no flavor. I reach over and I grab a fruit, a lemon. I say that one lemon, and I squeeze that one lemon into that glass.
The lemon is a fruit, but the lemon is one of the fruits that is the lowest sugar level of fruits. And because you drop it in there, I would definitely say you can do that.
Okay. So when I usually take the squeezer and put a whole lemon in my water or something. So that much of it, does that make a difference instead of just dropping a wedge in?
Again, a lemon is a very low sugar fruit. And it helps to break down adipose fatty tissue in the body. So I wouldn't put limitations to it. I actually advise my patients every morning to drink a glass with lemons, half a lemon squeezed in it for waking up before they start eating.
Kind of a diuretic?
Yes, because it cleans out and breaks down body fat. So it eats a fruit, but it's not a high sugar fruit like most fruits is. And I will allow that combination and you'll get away with it because you get the other benefits of the lemon.
I've often heard about intermittent fasting. So you wake up in the morning and break fast. We break the fast by eating something. Is there some equation that you can kind of give us about when you should start eating, when you should stop eating, or how often you should eat? I've also heard one last thing, that if you go too long between meals, that your body starts to think it's in starvation mode and starts
Correct.
saving fat. So we've heard all of these things. Help me understand, as I'm eating this program, when I can eat it.
Fasting is very important for the body. It detox the body and so on. Intermittent fasting, they have their system, and I will not condemn it because that's not my way of understanding in life. But my understanding is with those kind of fastings is that the patient loses weight because they're getting less food in for the day. Because there's hours where they don't eat, so automatically by the end of the night when they go to bed, they ate, let's say, 200 or 300 calories or grams of carbohydrates instead of 5,000. But of course, my system and my understanding about thousands of patients and children and old and young and every nationality and the actual practice of patients. I'm not for that. I do believe that after your night of sleep, that when you should wake up, you should break your fast, your breakfast, with a solid piece of nutrient. And like my clients will ask me, can I drink just a protein shake? I said, you can if you want to, but that won't do the deal for us. We need to break your fast. When you go into sleeping mode, your body goes into a resting period and your system starts shutting down and not working much. Nearly simple, close to when somebody dies, everything started shutting down. So how do you get your system to work again is the next morning when you wake up is to swallow something solid, not liquid.
Interesting.
And when you swallow something solid, the food ends up in your stomach. Your digestive system said, hey, some solid food just entered this body. We need to better digest it. It can't just lie there. And when that starts working, it immediately jumpstarts your metabolism, your lymphatic system. So if you do the fasting in the morning and you don't have that starting of it. So by 12 o'clock when you eat, your body's been in for hours without food. So the body's intent to hold on to it. So through that, you can lose weight because you're eating less, but you can lose also muscle. Because when the muscle doesn't get enough nutrients or regular nutrients, it will store fat. Look, if you go into the desert and you look at the cactus plant, it never rains in the desert once a year. And if you touch the plant, it's full of water. If you squeeze it, the water will run out. If you go in the desert where I'm from in Africa and you see the camels walking for miles, for months without food and water. In that camel, they retain a whole container full of water and nutrients to get through this. So water and body and nutrient retention because they don't get food. So the body is designed to live through proper nutrition, through regular nutrition. Why do you see a little baby when they get born? They don't know nothing of what's going on this planet. But they already start crying for food. And they don't even know who they are or where they are. So the body is designed to eat frequently. So fasting is another topic that I would love to discuss, I think, on another podcast.
Right.
Because that's a complete different problem. But it's important. But I believe through my 39 years of actual experience of creating not just wellness or not just weight loss, but helping children, helping people from the top movie stars and performers in the world that needs to look the best and perform the best. That is my patients. I've worked from the Mr. Universe, so from the top people in the world. That doesn't come to my advice to lose weight because they're in perfect shape. But they're athletes. They need to perform better. And I advise to improve my nutritional understanding. And it's proven over and over and over and over that we get the success that we want.
Okay. Um, I'm sure many of the people listening are familiar with the little ketone test strips that you buy, and once you go into ketosis through, I've had experience with the paleo keto diet, where you're just eating the proteins, and let's say 2 days later, my test strip is turning purple, and a week later, it's totally purple, like I'm totally in ketosis. And then I have one afternoon, I take, drink half a Coke, and that takes me totally out of ketosis. It's amazing how one little cheat. So let's talk about your system when you're talking proteins and carbohydrates. If you do cheat, how bad is that? How long does it take you to recover from that? Is it 3 hours?
Your cheat is always a cheat, as they call it, a cheat. It all depends how big the cheat is. If you really go out of town and just go for it and have your little cheat, I will throw that more into your 20% thing. But because it is a cheat, but it's not a cheat. But if you go really way out and cheating and just climb into like a hungry animal and just, then you're going to really pay very hard for that. But if you do a little cheat now and again, your body is in such a nice rhythm of living this great lifestyle through blood circulation, water, good nutrition, splitting up your combinations, that your body will say, oh, this little cheat, that's fine. Let's just run through it. And you won't even feel it, touch it, or smell it, or it won't be there.
I downloaded an app on my phone that is supposed to send me a message, a reminder of when to drink water. Drink an 8-hour glass. It'll send me a little 5-minute thing. In the next 5 minutes, you need to do this. In lieu of something that draconian, can you explain how during the course of a day a normal person can start to change their habits about how much water they drink? Do you drink water before you eat your lunch so you'll be full? And on your way to a restaurant, do you drink a bottle of water? I know that if I drink well before I walk into a grocery store, my cart doesn't get as full.
Water is such a secret for surviving and wellness. And water should just be treated well by drinking it all day. I wouldn't rush in a lot of water. Of course, we have working conditions. So we're on the road going to another city for 5 hours in the car. Then we have to cut down the water intake because we cannot get to a bathroom in time all the time. So there's certain times where you will change the water intake into your body because of your lifestyle and what you do for the day. But I advise most of my clients, my friends, everybody to take water in all day. Just regularly take it in. Of course, a lot of older people has problems with their prostate and they don't want to drink water late at night. So then get your water in during the day. But you do need to get your water in. So, and again, a lot of people is like working on aircrafts. They can't sit in the bathrooms all the time or whatever, in meetings all day. So they have to sip on water. So I would just say, get into a system to understand that is the biggest gift God has ever given you in your life, is that glass of water. Because He gives it to the flowers. He gives it to the animals. Why doesn't your cat or your dog drinks Coca-Cola? Why does it only drink water or something like that? Because it's something to purify and refresh your cells. So you need to find a way that works for you to get in your water. Your lifestyle, I cannot tell you how to do it because you have to plan your day. I need a certain amount of water to be taken in daily, because I want to be well. Not because he or she says so, because I know it's going to make me well. So I need to plan how I'm going to do it.
Excellent. Well, I think we're at the end of our hour. This has been fun.
Absolutely great fun. I love giving knowledge because I have it all, spreading it all over the world for all these years, that I see somebody struggles breathing. I feel pain in my heart. I don't sleep if I meet somebody that suffers, because I realize, oh my gosh, it's so simple to fix it, but they just don't know.
one of these days, I'd like to see you make a card with, on one side of the card, a laminated business card size, so I can keep it in my wallet. On one side is a list of the most popular carbohydrates. On the other side, the proteins. So that whenever I'm walking through the grocery store, I'm looking to order on a menu, or I'm standing in front of the refrigerator, I can pull this card out, decide which hour that I'm in, flip that card over, and realize with a very easy glance, the suggestion of things, oh, I can have some cheese, and I have cheese sitting over there. But I wouldn't have thought about that if I opened the refrigerator. So
it's a good idea. Very good idea. We can really take this to another level, because if you really see out there how the people is in such need.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
One of the visualizations we should use at some point. Most people have lifted a bag of salt for their water softener.
Yeah.
Most people.
Yeah, of course.
And they're heavy. They're 40 pounds.
Yes.
So if you were to lay down on the floor and put a 40-pound bag on your chest and you tried to breathe, would you notice a difference?
And walk around with that 40 pounds on you all day.
Yeah, strap it on your back with like a backpack.
Yes.
And walk around that 40 pounds. And then
every day.
Because most people have, a lot of people have 40 pounds of excess weight.
Yeah.
And they don't really put it into equation because they feel they're able to jump out of a chair and get out of bed in the morning and ride a bike or whatever. But when you equate it to that 40-pound bag, and not just a 40-pound bag of salt, but equate it to a 40-pound bag of fat. Fat. Yeah.
Dead. It doesn't work for you. It doesn't talk for you. It doesn't do nothing for you. It's just dead weight.
Yeah.
And to think you need to have sex with it, to think you need to go into a gym and physically work out with that heavy 40 pounds on you.
Well, yeah. Most people can't really press a 40-pound dumbbell.
Yeah.
Well, they can, but it's really heavy. You know, you don't think of it. You see these weightlifters lifting 300 pounds and 400 pounds. But just, I had some physical therapy not long ago, and they gave me a 3-pound arm weight and had me hold it over my head and then stretch it back. And 3 pounds was a lot.
Thanks for listening today. Tune in next time for more strategies and success. Until then, up yours.